Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are here at J&K Security Solutions. We're in their model smart home and we're having a lovely time.
It's a great time.
We're going to chat with the folks a little bit later about that. Right now, there's lots of families out there that enjoy having a family pet. If you are one of them and you've got a dog, listen up because the lady who's here who needs no introduction, Emily from Dawg, Dayz Grooming and Care. How are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
So glad to see you. Yes, nice to have you. We're going to talk a little bit about the style of grooming that you have, and I don't mean the style of grooming as in how they look when they come out, right? Doggy trends.
It's always perfect, by the way.
Well, of course. But we're going to talk more about the atmosphere in which the dogs enjoy the grooming. So talk to us about a cageless atmosphere. What does that mean, and why did you choose to do that?
Sure. Thank you for asking. There's a couple different ways I think that grooming salons are set up. I set my grooming salon up specifically so there isn't any caging at all. We boast a cage-free atmosphere in all of our services, and that includes grooming in that when the dog is up on the table getting their hair cut and their nails done and the works and all of that stuff, they're up there on their table and they're getting their hair done, and it's wonderful. When they're not, they may be in the bathtub getting their bath, but other than that, they're enjoying a blanket to lay down on or hanging out on the ground with their brother or sister, relaxing. They're never put into a cage to be what's called cage dried, which means that there's literally a kennel type thing with a dryer on it that blows right at them. It's a really efficient way to get a dog dry, but it's not something I was interested in having my dogs go through. Right. So they are kind of just hanging out and they're getting dry up on the table, but otherwise they're free to roam in the grooming area. So that's a different style that I created. I don't know if I created it, that I certainly wanted to offer. So absolutely.
And you've been doing this for the better part of a decade, more than a decade, I think now.
Well, 10 years, yep, but I started the research before that, but yeah.
Sure, and did you find that at other places were enjoying this type of cage-free? I mean, did you find any other places that did the cage-free grooming model?
I didn't, and that doesn't mean there wasn't. I'm not trying to claim absolute truth on that or guarantee, but I think the trend at the time and the norm was having cages in your grooming facility as well as in your boarding facility, and that was normal. I don't think anyone really considered anything different. So no, typically there was the cage atmosphere with the dryer and all that, and that was normal, and I wanted to try something different and wanted to try something a little more relaxing for the dogs, which at times would take a little bit longer for the appointments because it would take longer to dry without the cage dry atmosphere. Right. But I think the dogs were enjoying themselves more and feeling more relaxed, and oftentimes customers would tell me, in other places they would go, they would be very, nervous and shaking and, not really, they'd come out looking wonderful, but, be a little bit nervous about the experience, and they said, they come right in and they're happy to come into your place. So
what I find interesting about what you're saying is what you're describing as being sort of what you do as a regular practice at Dawg Dayz is, to me, what I would assume is happening anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit eye-opening to hear that really this is not normal SOP for dog grooming places.
I think it is now. I think that the norm was something that people didn't question, and I know the term cageless has become something of a, not like trend, but it's just I hear it all the time now, and I didn't. And I didn't even really use that as a word before. I just said, well, I'm just going to do it without cages. So and now it's a thing. So I think people have had their eye opening to other opportunities and ways to do this, but you have to create your space in a way that it's possible. So
you were doing cageless before it was cool.
Right. Thank you.
What made you kind of think that this was a necessary opportunity for pet owners and for the dogs more specifically too?
Yeah, just because I had been in environments that didn't offer that, and I just I feel that I'm in tune to dogs, and I would sense nervousness, I would sense fear and things, and again, it was the norm, and I don't think people questioned it. So, but when I did kind of tune into that sense of fear in the environments that I did see that non-cage-free atmosphere, I felt that it was important for the canine community to offer, and their parents to offer something different, and it probably certainly was more difficult, and it was a trial and error kind of thing, but it so far has worked, and people appreciate it. So
yeah, well, when you have a dog, when you've got a pet, that's one of your babies, so you want them to be cared for when they're being groomed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you hear about people who work with animals, who work, as dog trainers and whatnot, oftentimes they say they learn more. They feel like they learn more from the animals than the animals learn from them. What would you say is the best lesson that you've learned working with dogs over the years?
So, as people, I think that we have a sense of what did I do before? What am I going to do later? Past and future, and this, constantly worrying, or what's the next step?
Right.
Dogs animals do not have this. They have what's living in the now, what's being here and being present. My ability to be able to take dogs to the park was very special in that when I was there, even as a business owner, it was difficult for me to be in the now. But at the park, I got to watch dogs run, and that's all they were doing. That's all they were doing. They could care less about the next moment, the moment before, and they always are like that. They don't have that sense of worry, and it's just, I encourage that. Children too have this too, but children are able to do this, but unfortunately they grow into us, and then they, hopefully we can teach them to be present with them, but dogs never, I mean, they never learn that unfortunate lesson about, so yeah, that being in the now and being with dogs and at parks in an environment where they're in their element really makes you settle.
Yeah.
So it is very nice.
That's a nice life lesson. And really quick before we go, I want to mention that you have a very nice Facebook community. We just got a couple seconds, but if you've heard of Angie's List, you basically do that for Facebook with your clients.
Yeah, so it's just something I kind of has been happening, but I thought I'd just point out and put a name to it or something of, if you're interested in knowing a good vet in the area or where to go to buy your dog food or a suggested food or, if your dog has an allergy, all these kind of questions people have always come to us and asked. So we can use Facebook for that reason. Come and ask each other within that community and know that you can trust the answers.
There you go. So like Dog Dayz on Facebook.
Dog Dayz on Facebook.
To be part of the greater dog community. Emily, thank you so much. Our local dog whisperer. We love having you. We'll be back with more Wisconsin Family after the break.